Cliff, how do you connect your fluorocarbon to your braided line? I hear this over and over and over and over, and my answer is always an FG knot. I think it's the strongest knot, and I've tried showing how to tie it with regular fishing line, and you just can't see it in the video. So I'm fixing to try to demonstrate this, the FG knot, with something that's actually visible. So this is going to be our leader, this is going to be our main line. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to take your main line, our leader trying to get away from us. Take your main line, all right? So we're going to pretend this is going to my reel. This is the end of it right here. I'm going to wrap it around my two smallest fingers, and I'm going to leave a loop that I'm going to put between my thumb and this finger. I don't know what you call it. That's your index finger, maybe?
I think so.
Anyway, if you start at your littlest finger, it's the third one. So I have a spare finger right here in the middle that's going to help me tie this knot. So once you've got that done, I'll show you again. I'm just wrapping it around my fingers and leaving a loop. Okay. Now I'm going to take my leader. And it's important that you keep this tight. So I always put my spool of my leader on the floor of my boat where I can step on it. All right. So I've got my leader coming up here. I'm going to pull it over my leg. And I'm going to go underneath my main line. All right. Okay. I got a little too much. Let's cut some of this off. All right. So now I've come from the bottom up through this loop that I made, and then I'm going to start making my knot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over, away from me, and then back through the middle, and then over towards me. Back through the middle, over, away from me. Over towards me. And we're just weaving that together. Okay? That's all the FG knot really is a weave. All right? Once we get our weave made, we're going to let go of all of our line that goes back to our reel. We're going to take the end of our leader material and hold it. This would be your braid going to your reel. We're going to hold them together, and we're going to take the tag of our, this will be your braid tag, and we're going to make two just simply overhand knots. Okay? And then we're going to move, again, this would be our leader. We're going to move our leader out of the way, and we're going to make two more overhand knots. And that is how you tie an FG knot. So, this is what it looks like when tied in a braid to fluorocarbon scenario. Obviously you can't see it as well, but I'm going to show y'all right quick how I would tie it. How I would tie it. Now that you've seen the way that I tie it, let's tie it on an actual rod reel. Well, maybe between the two, it'll make perfect sense. So we'll get us a spool of all right, so now I've got my braided line that's coming from my reel, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and free up my leader material. So I've got my braided line. I'm gonna get me about 16 inches of it. I'm gonna wrap it around my two smallest fingers, leaving a loop. Now you want to make sure you get this loop the right size. If your loop's too big or your loop's too tight, just start over and adjust on your two fingers till you get this loop where when you hold it between these fingers, you want it's probably about 2.5 inches. Okay, I've got my spool of leader material. I'm going to put my foot on it, go over my leg with it. All right. So I'm going to start from coming from underneath. I'm going to come underneath my braid, and I'm going to go over, back through the middle, towards me, back through the middle. It's just, all you're doing is just making a weave. Now, I get asked a lot of times, you know, like how many wraps and how many of this, how many of that, because on a lot of knots that matters. The main thing I'm looking for here is I want about 3/4 of an inch worth of this weave, and I want it good and tight. So you can see right there, I've got about 3/4 of an inch now. Now, this is 20-pound braid to 14-pound test fluorocarbon. So the number of wraps, and this is why I don't count the wraps, the number of wraps to make this 3/4 of an inch is far less than it would be if, say, this was 10-pound test braid to 6-pound fluorocarbon. It's also far more if this was, say, 50-pound braid to 25-pound test fluorocarbon. So don't really worry about the counting the wraps. Just get you about 3/4 of an inch worth of a weave. Now, once you finish making your weave, you're gonna unwrap it off your finger. All right. This is my tag of my braid. This is my braid that goes back to my reel. This is my fluorocarbon end. I'm gonna hold the braid that goes back to my reel, the fluorocarbon end together, and I'm gonna take my tag braid and I'm gonna make me 2 overhand knots. All right, we'll pull that down. Now we're gonna let go of the fluorocarbon tag, hold that out of the way, make 2 overhand knots, just braid over braid. And you have just successfully tied an FG knot right there. Now, this is on a casting reel. I've got this on my little ARC BFS reel with my TFO 7'3" medium heavy resolve rod. And I've actually been throwing kind of like a power version of a shaky head on this setup a good bit. So I'm only going to get me about 6 foot worth of leader. This is some Gamma Edge fluorocarbon. Here's my shaky head. You can see this one's all chewed up. It's got a hollow point fat worm on it. It's all chewed up, but we're going to tie it back on there. And I'm going to show y'all the knot that I use to tie my fluorocarbon to my bait. This is called a San Diego jam knot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get me about 8 or 10 inches worth from the end. I'm going to pinch it, go through the eye of the hook. All right, I'm going to lay my finger right on the eye of the hook right there, just like that. And I'm going to hold the fluorocarbon tag tight to the main line. I'm going to go around the fluorocarbon. I'm going to take where I pinched it, go around the main line of the fluorocarbon and the tag. I've got them held together. I'm going to go around it 3 times. And then on the 4th time around, I'm going to go back through where I have my finger laying to make a hole. I'm going to pull that down. And then you've got to cut off your tag end, but you also, it creates this little circle right here. You have to cut that off as well. And that's a San Diego jam knot. This is the strongest 2 knots for this setup that I have ever found. And I know some of y'all in the comments are gonna say, oh, this is better and that's better. And for you, it might be. But for the line that I use and the setup that I use, as far as the connection knot is concerned, I haven't found anything that is stronger or that goes through my guides better than the FG. And as far as connecting my fluorocarbon to my actual lure, I have found nothing that works better than the San Diego knot. So maybe now, I hope this helps y'all. I did a video the other day talking about this rod and reel setup and how much I liked it. I've had a lot of questions about exactly how I'm putting my 2 lines together, the knots that I'm using, and I wanted to do a demonstration video where hopefully y'all would be able to actually tie it successfully and use it with success. So y'all let me know what you think about it.